to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne, America's #1 take action success coach and strategist, empowering, educating, inspiring, and igniting people like you to take action with jet propulsion. Love being here. I'm so excited today to have on, and you're going to want to listen to this, Elizabeth Hamill. She is an amazing individual, Long Island local recording artist, Just E, a recording engineer who released her first album last year, along with her first EP available for purchase on her website, juste.us, or online streaming, of course. And she owned her own recording studio for 3 years. She beat cancer. I know, fierce lady, and is not only working on her new business, Creature Island Productions, but adding a new element to her live music with her band, Gimshimmy. I think it's called Gimshimmy. Am I right there?
Gimshimmy, very close.
Yeah, okay. And E, you are just totally amazing. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
I love that we all have our hurdles that we jump through life, and these challenges that we have, and you just took them on, and look at you, the beautiful smiling face who came on and said, you know what, I'm going to do this. But there's a message. It's not just music. It's a message behind your music, and it's so beautiful. And I really want to talk more about that. So talk to us about what got you in music and what inspired you to become a singer. And then we're going to go to your message eventually.
Yeah, I mean, for me, music was always kind of just implemented into my life. My father was really into music. He played the harmonica, and he was the first person to put a microphone in my hand. And
Mine too.
yeah, that's awesome. And so that was kind of where my love for music came from, was just from my father and my mother, always just listening to different types of music, anything from like, Mariah Carey to like Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the biggest inspiration. But then when it comes to like musicians themselves, like Amy Lee from Evanescence and someone like Deborah Cox, those two artists I think were my most biggest impact growing up, because they were like kind of extremes on the different types of music, but
Yeah.
their lyrics were very inspiring to me.
Yeah, and that's what it is too. And also getting your voice out there is really important. And then not only did you get into music, singing, but you also write music. So what got you into writing music? That's a whole different animal. Singing other people. I do cover, and I've written a couple of songs and stuff like that, but the process is amazing writing music.
Yeah, I think I'm very over emotional. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder a couple of years back, and that is something that really is just driven by emotion. We have very strong emotional reactions, and I found that a really good way to handle those emotions is just to write them out on paper. And it
Yeah.
originally started off as poems, and then the poems slowly became lyrics, and then I started getting into the habit of, like, if I hear a song and I know what the person is trying to portray with the song, I try to tap into that emotion, and then that tends to bring me to like a spew of lyrics that just come out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what is song? It's a monologue to music, right?
Yeah.
That's what a song is. You're telling a story. And that's why I love listening to words, because it's telling a story. So what's the story? And then I want to know what's behind the story. It's like what transpired to have this person sing this song. So no matter what it is, it's just like, what was the inspiration behind it? So I love that. Now, again, I want to get back to that in a minute, but I had said in the opening that you had gotten over cancer. What happened there? How long ago was that?
Yeah.
And
So
yay, congratulations with that.
thank you. So I had a very rare form of osteogenesis sarcoma, and it's considered a bone cancer. And I was very fortunate that I got a pediatric form of the cancer while I had an adult immunity. And that's why it was kind of a rare case. Most people don't get my form of cancer past 17 years old. And I had to go through 3 forms of chemo. So it was methotrexate, cisplatin, and doxorubicin. I always remember them. And uh, I had to spend 3 weeks in the hospital and then 1 week out of the hospital for recovery, and then I would go back in, and I had to do that for 2 years. And ironically, I last Wednesday had my like last surgery to check and see if everything's clear, and everything came out good, and I'm still cancer free. So hence the reason
Congratulations. A
I
lot to celebrate, right?
yeah, so it's been like a really long journey, but I know it'll always keep going because I always have to just have my little checkups. But overall, I'm so fortunate and blessed to have my life, and I'm so fortunate and blessed that I took well to the chemo and that the surgery went well and they got rid of everything. So
That's beautiful. I was going to ask you what'd you learn through that? Because through every challenge, I don't look at a challenge anymore as a oh pity poor me party, right? I look at a challenge as what am I supposed to learn here? And you learned about your strength. You learned about you can do. You learned about how to get through something like that, right? Made you
yeah.
stronger. Probably tapped into a lot of the spirituality that comes through your music, that beautiful soul that comes through your music. Do you find that when you're writing that a lot of that experience shaped you for who you are today?
Yes, I can openly say, especially talking about like mental health, I was not in a very good place prior to that. I became an emancipated minor when I was 16 years old. So I was living kind of on the streets from 14 to 15. And then when I finally got the emancipated minor title, I was able to get an apartment and I was able to actually start like surviving on my own.
Right.
And it's interesting because I was becoming very angry at the world, and I was becoming very resentful and very frustrating seeing how certain people had so much and I was dealt this hand of so little. And honestly, going through chemo humbled me. It made me realize that everybody's situation is different, and that especially looking at the kids going through chemo and realizing that I had a childhood. I may not have had an easy one, but at least I had one where these kids are
Yeah.
stuck in these hospital beds really humbled me and helped me realize where my mental health, the track it was on. And it really derailed it and put it in a way better place, in my opinion.
And put it in perspective. I mean, sometimes I think we presume that people who have things um, are just given it to them. And we don't presume that they probably worked really hard to get it. Some people don't, some people do, whatever the case is, but that's not our journey. And we need to stay focused on our journey. And I love how it put everything in perspective. I do that when I get, little fancy pants on myself. I go to the water and it reminds me how insignificant I am and how strong something so beautiful and something so rhythmic and something that makes me just calms me just by the sight and sound of it, how strong she can be and how she could take me in 2 seconds. And it just reminds me of the sand that I'm standing on is I'm just one grain of sand on that beach. We're just one person along the beach, if you will, if everybody was a grain of sand. And it just puts everything back in perspective. And then my fancy pants, my sassy goes a little bit away and I go back into the humble and appreciation and recognizing that there are people out there that are suffering way worse. There are
Yeah.
people out there that are challenged way more. And so I stop the pity poor me party and I get my big girl panties on, if you will, and I step into my CEO high heels and I go do something. The best way to get out of that depression or when you're just having those really bad days is serve someone else. And that's what I found is the only way I could get out of my head is if I helped someone else. And serving someone else is just so much easier, so much easier. And I think a lot of that comes out of my music as well. Do
I
you?
agree with that. Yeah. I think when you help somebody else, it shows you your value in the world. It shows you not only that you can help somebody and that somebody else might be going through something more, but I also think recognizing your internal dialogue, it was so important. Like for me, what I realized is that I think that the universe was showing me all these people who had all these things to show me what I could work for, that there was something for me to aim for. And instead of seeing it that way, I wasn't. And I think that was something that really hit me hard during chemo, was just realizing the internal dialogue, that victimhood that is kind of put onto you by society, because like a lot of people in society have, their own opinions on people, but then they don't really look inwards. And I was one of those people, and I had to take a step back and realize, wow, instead of looking inwards and looking at my internal dialogue and how I'm looking at everything, I'm looking outwards at everybody else. and
Yeah.
it changed the script a lot.
Yeah. That goes back to my success equation, which is E plus R equals O. It's events plus your response equals the outcome. And if we're constantly blaming and shaming and blaming everybody outside, where's our part? We have to have a part, right? So
Exactly.
where is that part? So that's something that, yeah, you get to know. And at such a young age, you've tapped into that, and that's just so amazing, so impressive. It really is. It brings me to the next thing, your messages, your music. Let's talk more about your music.
Yeah, my music is my savior. I mean, I grew up, like I said, on a lot of like Deborah Cox and Black Box and Crystal Waters, Whitney Houston. So when I think about a lot of that music, one of the reasons why it spoke to me was because a lot of those lyrics were very talking about very real emotions and very strong things that are very hard to accept and go through, but they did it in a way that was fun and in dance beats and that made you forget about the stress while also confronting it. And that's where I really wanted to shine with my music. I wanted to make sure that everything I wrote had a meaning, a reason, a message. Even when somebody came to me and was like, I want more of a sexy song, I was like, okay, I'm going to make a song that's sexy, but it's really more about being confident in who you are and not letting anybody believe and tell you who you are and what sexy is. So
Right.
this has to be something behind it. You know, I can't just blindly write lyrics.
Yeah, no, yeah. There needs to be a message, and it needs to come from the soul. It's like writing. When you're writing something, they always say write about something and that we will know the difference. And so I just think that's great. Great. Do you remember the first song you ever composed?
Yeah, actually, I was in the hospital bed and I actually wrote a song. It's called A Little Bit of Nothing. And it's a song about the perspective of the person watching someone go through the hardship. So in the time frame, I had this weird mindset because I realized that I was the one going through it, but I was on so many like drugs and stuff throughout all of the chemo that there were like days that would go that I wouldn't remember and times that would last that I wouldn't remember. And even when I went into my surgery, I basically fell asleep for 14 hours and woke up. Whereas my family members were the ones who had to endure that actual time and see
Yeah.
me go through it and be fearful and waiting for the results of the surgery and all that stuff. So it's like where I kind of got the ability to kind of like sleep through some of it and get past it that way. They had to confront it 24/7. And so
Yeah.
I just wrote a song on their perspective about what it must be like to know if they're doing the right thing, putting me through that chemo, through the hell, you know.
So what was the song? What were the lyrics?
um it goes, I've been sitting bedside for quite some time, and I'm getting scared inside. Are you still fighting for your life? And I don't know if I should keep pushing you or if I should let you rest your head. I need a sign, and there it is. Your heart beating, it's just a little bit of nothing, but just enough of something to let me know you're still there and you care and you're fighting for your life. So I'll keep fighting the fight. Yeah. So that's like the intro to the song.
Beautiful. Yeah. No, and see, you got goosebumps. That's beautiful because it's so true, and I love the perspective you took because it was about them. It wasn't about you.
Yeah, there was a lot of humbling in that situation. And like, I remember it's funny how the universe works. They always give you what you need when you need it. And even on the few times when I was like going through my own ego and I was like, woe is me, I'm a victim, something would happen. Like I was in the cancer center getting an infusion and I'm victimizing myself when a gentleman comes in holding his daughter whose leg is twisted the wrong way and she's going through chemo. And in my head, I'm like, well, I'm okay. I'm okay,
Oh,
like,
good. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
again, it puts things in perspective. It's not to minimize what you're going through, and that's something I love about you. It's not about minimizing what we go through. It's about putting it in perspective that, there are other things that are worse. So, and for some reason, when you think that way, it just makes it easier to carry your load. And universe, God, source doesn't give us a load that's harder than what we can carry. Doesn't mean we like it, but if we look at, okay, what am I supposed to learn here? Maybe I'm supposed to spend, more time loving the people in my life. I know I get reminded of that. When I lose someone, it just reminds me to hug and squeeze everybody close to me even more. And as I get older and older, the poor people around me get squished and hugged all the time. So I hug strangers because I just, I feel that need, and it's because we need to really appreciate life, and we need to uh, honor whether it's a puppy or it's a human. We need to honor life, whatever that is, and just really take that. And that's what I get out of your music. So what is it? What does music mean to you?
So I think music is so powerful. I think, to be honest, for me, it means the world in the sense that not only does it help me navigate the world and navigate my own emotions and mental health, and I see that it helps a lot of other people in the same way, but I also see where if the industry did right, they would have so much power to change the world in a better way. They would have so much power to help people think more positively, put music out there that is showing strength, and then taking the money in the industry and the big money that they make and putting it towards a better future, putting it towards helping people who are, whether it's disabled like me, whether it's physical or emotional mental health, whatever it might be, just putting it out there to make it a better place. And I know that if I were ever to get a chance to have a platform with my music, I believe that I would put all of my power into trying to create a world that's just better for us to live in.
Yeah, yeah. And if we each did a little bit of that, wouldn't it be beautiful? Wouldn't it just be so beautiful? So
Yeah,
I love that you want to do I love that you want to do that. I think that's why you have that gift, and to be able to aspire to that and impact the world in such a positive way. It's just one person at a time, one song at a time, and not worry about how other people do it. We're not going to change how they do it, so we might as well put it out in the world the way we do it. And that's I think that's where I talk about journey a lot. That's where your journey is. It's funny, you refer to yourself as disabled, and I
yeah.
see anything but. I see
Oh, thank
anything
you.
but. I
Thank
just don't. And so I'm like, wow. Well, you kind of took me off guard when you said that. I was like, what? No, I don't see that. I see, this amazing human who is doing amazing things and taking the challenges she's facing head on in her life and doing something with it. That's to me not the definition of disabled.
Wow. Well, you know what? I have to say, I got to give it credit because I've had amazing people in my life. My father, before he passed away, was an amazing man. My mother was a single working mother, raising me on her own. And even my fiance's mother, she's beaten cancer 19 times
Oh,
in a wheelchair, and it doesn't, she hasn't skipped a beat.
yeah,
So
yeah. Isn't that inspiring when you
it's
meet
so
people like that?
inspiring.
I know when my mom was fighting cancer herself before she passed, the doctors gave her a limited time to be around, and she beat it by 5 years because she was like, "No, I'm not ready. I'm
It's
not, no."
amazing. And it's the
So,
mindset. It makes the difference. She wanted to be here and she made it happen. And that's
oh,
beautiful.
yes. Oh, yes. And the mindset is a beautiful thing. Don't waste it. It matters what you think. It matters what we intake in our ears, intake in our mouths, intake in our eyes, intake into our hearts, what we're thinking, what we're putting in our brains. That matters. What we think, the thoughts we think are become our beliefs. That's why you can change your beliefs. You just change your thoughts, right? So if you
Yeah.
think you can't, think you can. And believe it or not, you're going to see little by little, it doesn't happen overnight, but little by little, what you're putting out there is going to bounce back and just be beautiful. And that's what I see you doing. And that's why you impressed me when I met you. I was like, oh, I love this woman. You are just so positive, so can do. So that, like I said, when you just use the word disable, I'm like, where, how? I don't know, and
Yeah.
again, not minimizing you, but I
No,
know.
I get
No,
it. Thank
no,
you.
I don't accept that. I'm sorry. I will not accept that from you.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you for that because I think that a big part of me coming off like that is because I'm very proud of it. You know, I had a show last month, and my uncle had seen me for the first time performing in a while, and I had an outfit change, and I had my scars from my surgery just out in the open for anybody to see. And I didn't think anything of it. It's so natural to me. They're my beauty marks. I never think anything of it. But he thought, wow, how confident, how amazing that she doesn't even care that she's just showing it off. And it's one of those things. I think that's the reason why I don't come off disabled, because even though I'm labeled disabled by the government, I don't view myself that way. I don't think I have any disabilities on my end. I'm exactly the way I'm supposed to be. I'm exactly the way God intended me to be. And I can still go out and into the world and live it. And that's a big thing.
Making me cry. Yeah, because you are a role model for people to just keep going. You know, we all don't look the same, and you are genuinely who you are. You don't hide anything. You're not hiding behind these fake walls of I'm perfect and let me cover these things up because what other people think. It's none of your business what other people think anyway. You're such a role model. I mean, that's so beautiful, and that just adds to how beautiful you are. You just keep getting more beautiful every time I talk to you because that is just amazing. Because yeah, you share who you are, scars and all. You know, we do. We should share who we are, scars and all. We're good, bad, and ugly, all of us.
Yeah.
We have good, we have bad, and we have ugly. You know, and it's just how we go out there and serve each other. And that's what you do through your music. I think where you're serving our listeners, you're serving the people who follow you. And speaking of which, and all your information will be with this episode, but where can somebody find you, find your music so they can start following the beauty that you are?
Thank you. Well, I my YouTube channel, the Just E Please, is on YouTube, and that's basically my social media across all. So I always am posting music videos and posting lyric videos and updates and even dance videos. And then if you're interested in streaming my stuff, I'm on all the platforms, whether it's like Tidal, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all those. And then I'm trying to get on SoundCloud, but aside from that, I will also be performing all along Long Island, and I have a couple of shows at the Delancey coming up in the city, so you can find me there.
Excellent. We're going to talk more about that. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. We are on JVC Broadcasting and iHeartRadio. And again, don't leave us. Stay with us. The different notes of life with recording artist Just E. We're going to come right back, and we'll take a short break. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I'm so glad that you are with us on our show with Just E. If anyone would like to lift up your business, be a guest, lift up your products, not for profit, or if you have questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's healthy lifestyle with LA, that's for Lorianne, that's me, at gmail.com. Just give us your comments. We love hearing from you. You know, we respond. If you've ever written to us, we respond to every single one. I love hearing from you. So please, thank you so much for following us and listening to us. We're all over social media platforms. But today we are speaking with the great, just a great, beautiful human. Her real name is Elizabeth Hamill, but she goes by Just E. And I just telling your beautiful story. I love your story. I love everything that you're telling us about because it really is inspirational. E. What you do is, just putting yourself out there unabated. And that's not an easy thing to do. And I just so appreciate the fact that you do that. And you do it with a smile on your face. And you so impressed me when I met you. Was singing always a natural to you? Was that something that you knew you were doing since you were knee high to a grasshopper?
I would say, yeah. I mean, I got discouraged a lot growing up for singing. I was definitely told that it wasn't the career path for me. And I think that despite what people were telling me, it was just ingrained in my soul that I couldn't not. And I got vocal lessons and I started taking it seriously so that I could become what I consider performance ready, where I could do a 2 hour performance and I can keep my pitches and my tones in a good place. And I can, make sure that I don't overdo my voice and have proper breathing technique. And I think that that really brought me to a place where I was confident enough that when someone was like, it's not my thing, it's like, okay, I'm not going to be everybody's thing.
Yeah, and that's okay. Exactly. You're not going to be everybody's thing. That's why we have all different kinds of genre of music, right? We have all different musicians out there. So the right people will follow you and the right people will get you and be inspired by you. So yeah, no, I get that. I was always singing when I was a kid. Matter of fact, it's kind of cute, funny story. We were driving in the car and I had my son in the car with me in the back seat and stuff like that. And I'm singing probably at the top of my lung because I usually do um, along with music and blah, blah, blah. And we're at a light, and my son Nicholas says to me, Mom, who sings that song? And I tell them whoever the artist is, and he's like, Yeah, let them. And I was like,
Oh, wow. There's a whole
you
yeah.
know, I was like, okay then, so, you don't have to worry about critics outside because the family will keep you absolutely grounded. It's just so very funny. But I also know he came to my concerts and things like that. So it was always nice to see that he was supportive, but that was just so funny. And I'll never forget him saying that to me. And I was like, all right. And there you have it.
Sounds like we would have a lot of fun in a car ride though. We'd just be belting out singing the whole time.
I'm telling you, there was a movie by oh gosh, Melissa McCarthy, and she's in the movie, and they're doing a road trip together, and she is singing every single song and blah blah. And I was like, that's me. And he was like, so annoyed. It's like, please just stop singing, right? And she has a great voice, and it wasn't about that. It was just that she knew the words to every single song, was singing every single song, and I'm like. That's me.
Yeah,
I do the harmonies. I'm singing along. But I love it. I
facts.
love it. I love it.
I'm the
So,
same
and I
way.
know that it's your passion too. And when you find your passion and you find what your purpose is, it's magical, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my fiance tells me that all the time. He goes, "You're so lucky that you know what you want to do and that you have like you just are like honed in on it." Because I have been working on it for a while now, and he said like if it was him, he would have given up by now. And I'm like, I've had too many sprinkles of opportunity to believe that it's not worth it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you see the sparks and then you see people who get it and kind of shepherd you on. And that to me is those are little signs from our angels and our gods, right? Telling
Yep.
us just keep going, just keep going. And it's also about trusting that you know in here that that's what you're supposed to be doing and not listening to those other voices. A lot of time the other voices are their fear. It has nothing to do with you. It's them being fearful that maybe you won't be successful. It's their fears of them not taking that leap of faith. And when you do, they look at you like a superhero because you are going after and pursuing what you love. And it's not always easy and it's not always accepted, but you're being who you are, and it's a beautiful thing. And you're showing other people that you can do that. And that's the thing that just, that's the piece de resistance, right?
Yeah, and I also think it's very important to, like you said, the way you look at things and the way you connotate things in your own head really matters. And I find that whenever somebody questions that stuff, it's a moment for me to question if I'm on the right path. Like, am I doing things the way that I want to? Am I bringing myself to where I am? And when I can turn around and go, yeah, yeah, then I know I'm doing good. And then if there's something where I'm like, you know what, actually, I've been focusing on this a little bit too much and it's really not really going to serve me the way that I want. It's not bringing me to the place that I want to be. And then I can rewrite to where I want to be and start doing the things towards where I want to be, because I think sometimes we are so quick to get defensive and be like, why are you questioning me? Without realizing that maybe they're not questioning you. Maybe the universe is wanting to reassure you and want you to know who you are. And there's a moment for you to express that.
Yeah, and I love that you ask yourself and just check because that talks about awareness and everything starts from awareness. All of your options come out once you're aware of something, right? So, oh, let me just check back in with myself. Sometimes we're so busy we forget to check back in. And is this what I want to? Yeah, this is what I want to do. Okay, what's your next step? I don't know. It's okay. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do at the exact moment you're supposed to do it, as long as you're noticing those signs. And you got to keep your head up to notice those signs, right? You have to be
Yeah.
looking up. It's funny. I was told by a psychic once, your mom is saying, lift your head up, look up, look up. And ever since then, when I look up, I always get a sign. I always get a sign that it's in the right direction. The other thing that I find is that if you're doing what you're supposed to do, it kind of lays out there so easy. It's like, have you ever said this? Can you imagine? I just asked for this and then I just get this phone call. Had that. That's laying it out. Those are signs.
I've
Those,
I've I've had that happen like instantaneously. Like I was one day with my dog and I we were at the mechanics at the shop and I'm sitting here looking at my finances like I don't even know how I'm going to pay for this. Hopefully they'll let me go on a payment plan. I take my dog for a walk and I find $100 bill and it paid for the whole thing.
yes.
Miracles are all around you if you open
Yes.
your mind and you open your eyes and you look for them. It's true.
And you open your heart because that's how
Yeah.
one manifests. You open your heart and you trust, because it'll be there. Now, not will you find $100 all the time? No, but you will find answers and solutions and opportunities. And that's what we're talking about today is answers, opportunities, solutions. A lot of your songs are about mental health because I know, as you had shared before, you suffer from your own mental health. Um, Talk to me about why you're putting those out there and what you're trying to manifest by doing that and how you're trying to help other people.
Well, I know for me personally, despite all of the stuff that I have accomplished and gone through and conquered, I still every day have bad mental health days and I still struggle to see the light. And I still have days where I'm just feeling so down and I feel so disappointed in myself.
Uh-huh.
And I think that these songs are a reminder for me. Sorry about that. I think these songs are a reminder for me that I am still here, that I still have something to fight for. And then also when I sometimes I'm in these places, I can listen to the lyrics of my song and say, where was I when I wrote that?
Yeah.
What mental space was I in when I wrote that? And how can I get back there?
Yeah, yeah, inspiring. Just inspiring. Being able to lift yourself up. That's where it just reminds us is that we're doing exactly what we're doing. We all go through those ups and downs. Don't think that we all don't go through the ups and downs. It's the response. It goes back to the success equation. It's our response to those events. It's like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit here and wallow? That's a choice. That's okay. I get tired of pity poor me parties. I don't wallow very long because I get bored. I'm like, okay, I'm bored. But I'll do it for a little bit. And truth be told, I'll do it for a little bit. And then I was like, all right, let's do something else. This is not fun.
And
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 then try to find something else, right?
Yeah, and then in those moments when you are doing that pity, you need that. We need to be our own advocate. We need to be our own empathetic person. We need to have that ability to
100%.
lean on ourselves. And I think it's an important place of being able to look inwards when you're in those places. Is if you can, and you said it so well, if you can learn to respond instead of react in those moments, you can really learn to understand yourself and what you need.
Why am I feeling like this? What am I, okay, like, how do I want to handle this right now? It's almost like self-soothing. You know how children, we teach them how to self-soothe. It's like, okay, you're going to cry for a little bit, but then you're going to go night night. And I'm going to be here. I'm always here. We're always here. And so we know God, source, universe is always here for us. So we know we're not alone. And we're going to learn how to self-soothe and figure out what we need to do for ourselves to feel a little bit better. And it's to your point, and you're spot on. It's okay if you want to have a pity poor me party. I had one for 7 years. It was a long party, not so much a party. But then you sit there and you're just like, okay, enough, enough. Let's move on, enough. So,
And
and you
you needed
only
that though.
do what?
You needed that though.
I needed that to grow. I needed that to reach out and learn, have these different things that all help me. All these tools that I learned along the way, I have in my tool belt to help other people. So that's why I needed it. So once you realize why you're going through it, it's really cool because you're on the other side of the tunnel, if you will. But while you're in the tunnel, just keep asking yourself, what am I supposed to learn? If you just ask yourself that question, it is amazing the answers come. And you
Yeah.
here, get out of your head, get into your heart. And that's where you write your lyrics. And when you're feeling better, you write those lyrics. And it helps remind you when you're not having a great day, and it helps other people and inspire them and know that it doesn't have to be like this and that they're not alone. They're not the only ones going through it. I wish I had had a me when I was going through what I was going through. And now the people who listen to you, they have you. You probably wish you had a you when you were going through everything. But look at God doesn't give us anything we can't handle. And look at you. You handled it all, just all. And still, you're just a beautiful human, just
Oh,
so
thank you.
beautiful. It's just amazing. If
And
there's one thing, one piece of advice that you would give someone, what would it be?
we're all human. Don't forget the fact that we are all human, just trying to survive and trying to get by and trying to do the best that we can to navigate the world that we're in today. And so if you ever feel lost, or if you ever feel like you're upset or animosity, or you're confused, or you don't understand something, just remember we're all human and we all feel those feelings, and it's okay. And
Yeah.
it's better to feel it and internalize it and understand it than to project it outwards.
Yeah, or reach out for help. Reach out and speak to somebody else. It's different in our heads when we speak it out loud to someone else, or even just out loud to ourselves. Um, it sounds different, and sometimes that answer comes down. It comes to you. And if not, it's okay to ask for help. We're here to help each other. We're here for two reasons. We're here to learn, and failing is how we learn. And we're here to help one another. So no matter what you're going through, you're already a step ahead of the person who just started going through the same thing. So you're many, many, many steps ahead. You're like a marathon ahead of other people who are going through some of the things you went through. Some of the things, and some of the people will never go through all the things you go through. I like
Mhm.
to remind people that we're all going through something.
Yep,
We
it's
all
true.
have our challenges, whatever level. It may not seem like a challenge to us when you're talking about, someone who may be challenged with something that you were like, well, I wish I had your problems. We've all thought it, we've all said it, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah.
But you know what? To them, that is a challenge. I used to have a girlfriend. Well, I still have a girlfriend, same girlfriend, but she's skinny, so, so, so skinny. And she was like, oh my God, I feel so fat. And I'm like, holy moly, I wish I was that fat, right? But me having that response wasn't fair because to her, she felt uncomfortable. She was fat to her experience. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that experience is her experience, not my experience. And
Yeah.
I look in and I was like, I'll take that experience. But to her, it was real. It was real. So we need
Every
to remember that too, right?
yeah, everything is relevancy. Everything is relevant to the person and what they're experiencing, what they're going through. And I always try to remind people too that we don't know what they're actually physically feeling. Like, so to add to that, for her, maybe it was just bloating. Maybe she literally felt like there was pressure in her body because there was just like extra bloating, and that was making her feel fat. And then you don't want to deny her that feeling and what she's going through. So I completely get what you mean, because sometimes we interpret it one way, but we're not living it or experiencing it, so we can't really act on that. We have to learn to understand and think and respond more and recognize that it's all relative. And once again, we're all human, so we all have a right to feel how we feel.
Yes, yeah. And just support the person if they're going through something. And if you don't understand it, we don't have to answer it. We just have to be there. I
I
don't have
totally
to have all the answers. Sometimes it's just the presence, someone being present with me who I care about and who I trust. We don't even have to talk. It just is soothing.
Yeah.
It's an adult way of soothing is that to spend time with each other. So you're a recording engineer, you're a singer, right now you're starting this production company, Creative Island Productions, and adding a new element to, your live music and things like that. What else is on the horizon for Missy?
Well, so aside from the trying to get some local shows going in the Delancey, I have the Good Vibes Festival happening next year, which I'm very excited for. I've been putting a lot of planning, a lot of details. I've put a lot of time into it, and we're actually looking for sponsors. So if anybody's watching this, definitely contact me, because I am looking for sponsors. And it's one of those things where I went through a tragedy with a my nephew passing in a pool drowning, and it just made me realize how important time is. And so I wanted to create a festival that not only gave back to the community by raising money for non-for-profits, but then also creating a space where people could come and enjoy everything and create long lasting memories with their family and friends, and hopefully connect with people they've never met before in different communities, and then we could bring communities together on top of it.
I love that. When's the festival? Do we have a date yet?
Not yet, but we're thinking it's going to be towards the end of June. Originally, we were going to do July, but there's a lot going on in July on Long Island. So we might do the end of June right after the school closes. So,
Oh, I love that. That's a great idea. So let me know how we can help and definitely come back on the show. Let's have you back in January and April so that we can help you promote this
I
show.
would love that.
I
Thank
think I
you.
think a music festival is awesome, and if you need any announcers, let me know. I'm a good MC, so I'll definitely do that. That would be awesome. And let's talk more about other things you're going to do with your production company. So you have this festival coming up next year. You're at Delancey, New York City, correct?
Yes, yep. It's right
That's
in New York.
huge. That's absolutely huge that you're at Delancey. Congratulations for that.
Thank
That's.
you.
Do you live stream on YouTube when you do that, or how you
I
doing that?
haven't done that yet. I was thinking about doing that like in one of the up and coming shows, because I also think that if I could live stream and show people exactly what I'm bringing to the table, they might be more interested in coming at like one of the newer, like the next show. So
Sure.
that's like one of the things, like just to help promote and stuff like that. But I always videotape it. I get a professional video recording of it, and then I will like put it online for people to see. So I always try to make sure I record it in some way.
Is Just your YouTube channel, or is it Creature Island Production, your YouTube?
So Just Eat Please is my music page. I did just recently put up a Creature Island Productions YouTube page, but that's still kind of in the making because that's all a little new.
That's okay. We all love following new because now, like, we knew you when. Haha.
Ah, true, true. Yeah,
Before
so
you became a big fancy schmancy star. So, going
thank
all over the world performing. So, definitely
you.
something in your future. It's definitely something in your future. So, I so admire you on so many levels. It's not easy to do what you're doing. It's not easy, the life you've come from. You've really just jumped the hurdles and taken the challenges on head first. And so I do admire you. And I don't mean that lightly. I mean that really sincerely. So when you're having those days, just remember there are people out here that are inspired by you. And that you inspire them through your presence, your energy, the songs that you put out there. Your voice is important, as is all of our listeners. Everybody's voice is important because we're all here to do something different. And if we all come together doing the specialties that we all have, what a wonderful world this will be.
Yeah,
Really good song, by the way. But
it is.
that's why we're supposed to be here, and that's why genuineness matters. And that's, again, you inspire me with going out there, and you just keep pushing on, and you just keep doing what you're doing, inspiring people, creating that beautiful music that you create. And I really look forward to having you on. Any last words for our listeners?
Um, Stay happy, stay healthy, and remember, there's always tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow. We can make it better tomorrow. There's just another day. It's not a... So take action, people. I'm a take action success coach. So go take action, do something. Sign up, follow this beautiful lady, Just E, please. And I'll have all the information associated with this episode. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for inspiring all of us. Thank you for inspiring me. And I really appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me. And if any of my fans are watching this, drop a comment, give Lori some love, just to spread the love.
I love it. Spreading love is what we do, right, girl?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. And thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I hope we earned the privilege of your time. Again, I want to thank my guest today, the beautiful Just E. She's amazing. I know I'm gushing, but I do. And I gush with purpose. So, and as always, look for our show next Saturday at 3 p.m. on JVC Broadcasting and iHeartRadio. And we also can be found on all major platforms, and would be so grateful if you please like, follow, share, subscribe, comment. We love all that too. Please do that. And if you want to send anything to us, healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. We love that. Take a moment for yourself every day. Take a moment. Give yourself grace. You're doing just fine. Just keep moving forward. Until next time, I am Coach Lorianne, America's #1 Take Action Success Coach and Strategist. Let your dreams be bigger than your fears and let your life be filled with joy. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much, E. Appreciate you.
Of course, that was a lot of fun, and I really appreciated being on the show. That was really just, it's nice to be able to talk to someone who's kind of on the same level of communication when it comes to like mental health and wellness and stuff, you know?
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, totally.